Hello, my name's Gregg Braden. If you're watching this film today, what I know is that you know that this is no ordinary time in the history of our world, certainly, in the history of the nation that you live in, or any nation, or any of our lives. And it's a fact, the best minds of our time are telling us that you and I are living what they're calling a time of extremes. The extremes don't have to be bad things or even good things for that matter, but they are big things. And it is a fact. We have no reference, no blueprint to tell us what steps to take to embrace these changes in our lives. That's where my book, The Turning Point, Creating Resilience in a Time of Extremes, comes in. This book was a very healing book for me to write because it allowed me the opportunity to bring together the best science, leading edge science of our time, some of it so new it's not even in mainstream publications, and marry that science with what you're living in your world and what I'm living in my world every single day to point us in the direction of choices that we can make in our lives. So many of us have been conditioned to think of resilience as a way to return to a way of thinking or living, to bounce back or spring back from a difficult situation. This is the traditional thinking when it comes to resilience. My question is there another kind of resilience that allows us to thrive in the presence of the changes? And the answer is yes. It's the resilience that allows us in our personal and our community lives to thrive in the midst of the changes, to embrace the possibilities that face all of us each day. And when I think of so many of the great minds that have embraced what our time is really all about, Buckminster Fuller said, you're never going to create change by fighting the things that you don't want. He says, to create the kind of change that we're talking about, find a new way of doing things that makes sense within the current situation. And that is precisely the kind of resilience that we're talking about. Turning point occurs when we're given the reason to think about ourselves and our relationship in the world differently, when a new idea or a discovery or a revelation gives us the reasons to think differently about our lives and our world. The turning point, creating resilience in a time of extremes, is the blueprint that gives you the strategies to actually incorporate the best science and the wisdom of 5,000 years of our ancestors into the changes that you and I are living in our lives right now. I want to thank you so much for this opportunity to share with you the wisdom of the past, the best science of today, as we face our time of extremes and the joyous outcome that lies just beyond those extremes.